Thank you, Mark. Well, the equation is quite simple on paper. Manchester United win their next 3 matches. They're crowned champions for a record 19th time. However, of course, they're not playing on paper, and in between the matches against Everton today and Arsenal and Chelsea, they have 2 matches against Schalke in the Champions League semi-final. And the question is, will that distract them? Certainly Sir Alex Ferguson says in his programme notes that he enjoys this time of year when he has to look at the bigger picture, and the entire squad will be used because he, in his mind, is thinking of playing until the end of May, of course, with that Champions League final in mind. And he has made 5 changes. Rio Ferdinand for Vidic, Evans for Smalling, Fabio for Evra, Gibson for Carrick, and Valencia for Giggs. Evra, Giggs and Carrick are on the bench. There is no Berbatov. Vidic is rested. Very rare, of course, for that to happen this season. He's been such a key player for them. Van der Sar is in goal. O'Shea, Ferdinand, Evans and Fabio across the back. A midfield of Valencia, Gibson, Anderson and Nani, Rooney and Hernandez up front. Everton make 2 changes. Heitinger isn't fully fit, so Coleman returns. Guy, the striker, is replaced by Rodwell. So they have Howard, a former Manchester United goalkeeper, in goal. A back 4 of Hibbert, Jagielka, Distan and Baines. A midfield of Coleman, Neville, Rodwell, Osman and Billy Letdinov, and Beckford, who scored here for Leeds United last season in the FA Cup as the lone striker. Jimmy Armfield.
Yes, I was just trying to think really how we've talked a bit about Manchester United, how Everton are going to play this. I think, well, obviously we've got the back 4. I think Neville might just play that holding role in there, because one of the things that they've got to think about is when Rooney drops deep and starts spraying the ball around, that's when Manchester United start, moving, because it's still, despite making changes, they've still got a very strong front 4, Manchester United. Valencia, Nani on the flanks, Hernandez with his pace up the middle, and Rooney, of course, who on his day is really terrific. So the point is, Everton will have thought about that, and I think that's what Neville might do, just in front of that back 4. We'll see.
Sir Alex Ferguson in his programme notes talks about taking it on the chin. That bitter pill that they had to swallow losing to Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final. Not helped, of course, because it was from those noisy neighbours. It's how they respond here today after that 0-0 draw against Newcastle on Tuesday. Their home form has been their saving grace, hasn't it, this season?
I mean, it's a fantastic home record. Win 115, drawn 1, lost 0, scored 42 against 9. I mean, so that's an incredible statistic on its own. That's enough, really, to have lifted them to the Championship. I think now they've lost to Manchester City. I wondered where that was really in his priorities. But the point is now, the 2 big priorities, winning the Premiership, I think, is still number 1 in my opinion. And then, of course, but he's got Schalke to think about, and that will have been in his mind, in my opinion, when he named his team today.
There's been an early goal at Tannadice in the SPL, where Dundee United lead Kilmarnock by 1-0. But this is the Barclays Premier League, and this is 5 Live Sports, and we're live at Old Trafford for this, our first of our commentaries, because from 3 with Mark and John Murray will be at Molineux for Wolves against Fulham. But this is a significant game at the top of the Barclays Premier League, and in the Empower Championship, where Queen's Park Rangers will win. If they win, will get promoted. You can hear that on 5 Live Sports Extra. We will have updates from the Cardiff Stadium here on 5 Live as Everton look for an early attack. They're playing in all royal blue. They're playing from right to left. They're attacking the Stretford end against a Manchester United side in their red shirts, white shorts and black socks. And Jagielka dealing with the threat of Hernandez by clearing the ball downfield. Beckford up against Rio Ferdinand, 2 former Leeds United players. But there was Fabio, who's playing at right back. O'Shea, in fact, is at the left back, playing it forward. Fabio, who is a left back, playing on the other side, which is a surprise.
Yeah, it is. Whenever he's not playing, they just lack that little bit of drive, that left footer, coming down the left wing. So he does get forward a lot. I think he's played 32 league games, something like that, this season, Everett. They do miss that little bit of width to give them when he's not playing.
Here is Rooney, just dropping deep to collect the ball, being booed, of course, from Everton supporters for their former player, a player of course they once idolised. As Valencia comes in now off the right touchline, plays it to Rooney. Fabio joins the attack from defence, lays it back to Anderson, just has to go back 2 or 3 yards. He's forward of the centre circle as Manchester United come forward, and it's out towards Nani on that left-hand side, looking to get away from Coleman, who's clearly holding the arm of Nani. And the referee, who is Peter Walton giving a free kick, and a clear free kick it was too, to the home side. 0-0, 2 minutes played. Then he stands over this free kick. Everton have every royal blue shirt back. Certainly you sense from the atmosphere in these early stages the importance of this game. Bearing in mind the next two opponents for Manchester United in the Premier League, Arsenal and Chelsea, before they finish off with a trip to Ewood Park and then Blackpool at home on the final day. Gibson's ball from the halfway line bounces away from Wayne Rooney and through to Tim Howard. Jimmy Armstrong.
Yes, I think Manchester United are going to be banking a little bit today on Valencia on one side, Nani on the other. That little bit of width, what they try and do, they'll try and stretch Everton's defence across the field. That's the important thing about playing with these two wide men. I think it's given them a lot of success at home matches.
This is Anderson looking for a ball in the air out towards Valencia, curling, under control by Valencia after a couple of touches. It's an early cross from the right hand side, a little bit too early because there's only Hernandez in the penalty area. Nani did well to keep it in play on that left hand side, but eventually hooked away by the Everton right back Hibbert. This is Rooney though for Manchester United, coming in now in field, midway through the Everton half. Gibson cries out for the ball. It's duly at his feet now for the Irish international. Misplaced pass by Valencia. Manchester United though retain possession, and Evans starting for the first time since he was sent off against Bolton, but United have given it away. And here is Rodwell, much coveted of course, and continually linked with a move to Old Trafford, much to the annoyance of David Moyes. Everton though can't retain possession, although they do have a throw in front of the Everton manager, who's continuing urging on his players from the technical area. In fact, it's gone to a United throw.
It's almost a five-man midfield, Everton. Beckford looks to be he's going to be sort of a target man. He seems to be the man who's up there on his own. Might be cause one or two problems, that, because the central defenders of Manchester United, if they get secure in there, they'll come forward and they'll make life difficult for the midfield of Everton.
Here's Van der Sar, who hadn't played in the last two league matches preceding Champions League games, in those two matches against Chelsea. Rooney to Nani, sliding in was Hibbert, giving away a free kick. Nani stays down, free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, he's just coming a bit late. What he does, he checks inside Nani more often than not on the left hand side of the field, and he's got this tendency to roll over to accentuate it, but it was definitely a foul. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester United, who started the better.
Bright afternoon, blue skies, sun shining here at Old Trafford. Manchester United, 5 minutes played, drawing 0-0 with Everton, but they have a free kick on that left hand side as they play from left to right. It's Nani just in from that left touch line. O'Shea makes his way into the penalty area to join Evans. Hernandez is there. Outside the penalty area you have Valencia and Anderson. Gibson also lurks, as does Rooney. In fact, it's played short to Rooney. First time shot takes a deflection, will go behind for a corner kick.
Interesting, Everton's defence there. 6 players in a line. It's obviously something David Moyes has worked on. Just in a straight line, almost on the penalty spot there for that free kick coming in from that side.
Well, Coleman was alert to the possibility of a short corner as Anderson had run towards Nani, but it's a corner from the left which Nani will take. It's curling in and it's comfortably claimed by Tim Howard in his 6-yard box.
No Vidic there. You know, that's one of the areas where they miss Vidic. He is dangerous at corners and free kicks. There was nobody actually went in there. Howard caught the ball with some comfort.
They don't have a particularly good record at Old Trafford, Everton, but they are one of the form teams. Alan and myself were at the Reebok Stadium back in February. They were abysmal that day. Certainly David Moyes looked distraught in the rain as they were beaten quite comfortably, but since then they've responded well. They're unbeaten in 7 games. They've collected 17 points out of 21, so they will come here full of confidence. They've been awarded a free kick which is midway through the United half, and Baines, about 10 yards in from the left touchline, will take it left-footed, kills this one in plenty of pace, headed away by Gibson, collected by Valencia, still deep inside his own half, and Valencia will win a throw off the legs of Billy Letdinov. Now there's been a goal at Cardiff. Simon Mann.
An absolutely stunning goal scored by Cardiff in the 6th minute. Jay Bothroyd with it from the right-hand side, powered the ball in with his left foot, from the right angle of the penalty area. Magnificent hit. Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
That is interesting, bearing in mind that Norwich had climbed above Cardiff on Thursday with that comprehensive victory against Ipswich, but victory today would take Cardiff back into second on 78 points, a point clear of Paul Lambert's side. Commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. There has been an early goal there, none though here at Old Trafford. 7 minutes played. It remains Manchester United 0, Everton 0, and this is Jimmy Armfield.
Lovely ball played by Rooney there, who's just dropped a little bit deep once or twice. That was a lovely pass. I thought Hernandez was actually appealing for a corner. Whether somebody got a touch along the way, it's hard to tell. But I don't think really he was quite ready for it. I think that was his problem.
Howard with the goal kick to Baines, who dropped off to collect that ball midway through his own half. He pings it long with his left foot. Osman has gone forward. Beckford had made a run, dealt with though by the head of Ferdinand. Comes inside to Phil Neville, to Beckford. Nice control by Beckford. Lays it off to Osman. Opens up for an Osman shot, which didn't really have the power to trouble Van der Sar.
No, it's the first time really that Van der Sar's touched the ball. And there was no power in Osman's shot there. But I was quite surprised Ferdinand dropped off Osman then and let him have a shot. Just from the edge of the box.
Opened up for him, didn't it?
He did. Well, it was Ferdinand. He dropped off completely. I was very surprised.
Baines, who's had another excellent season for Everton, heading the ball away. Valencia was anticipating him to head it back downfield, but he was taking no chances. So it's a United thrower that Fabio, the left back playing on the other side, at right back, finds Valencia. Just ran away from Valencia from that throw, and Phil Neville was alert to the danger. Billy Letdinoff will clear it downfield. Played back in on the half volley by Ferdinand. Bounce took an extra kick off the surface, which is looking in extremely good nick, the pitch here at Old Trafford.
It's amazing when I think some of the pitches I used to play on, in April, it was unbelievable. And look at this. It's like a bowling green. The groundsman's got nothing to do this summer.
Well, absolutely. Valencia looking for the through ball. A sliding block by Distan. Needed to be perfectly timed as well, because Hernandez would have been in on goal. Distan's clearance headed forward. Rooney's cross cut out by Hibbert. The right back was tucked in and covering well. Anderson's played the ball forward, blocked by Phil Neville. Beckford then tried to roll away from Ferdinand. He was caught by Ferdinand. Free kick against the Manchester United defender.
Yeah, Phil Neville did well there. He is playing in that role just in front of the back four, as I suggested he might. Nice ball, won it early, played it forward. Ferdinand fouled Beckford, just giving Everton a little bit of respite. How many minutes have we played now? 10. Really nothing gone at Manchester United's goal so far. Just that half-hit shot from Osman.
Yeah, very tame indeed from Osman. As Baines switches play out towards that right-hand side, but Everton are in possession. And this is Neville out to Hibbert. The right back is in advanced position. Collecting the ball now is Coleman. Looks up, has time to send over the cross. And Fabio with a back pass to Van der Sar, and Van der Sar will clear on the edge of his 6-yard area. Hernandez heads the ball in field, but only straight to Jagielka. Jagielka with a diagonal ball, looking for Billy Letdinoff up against Fabio. And referee Peter Walton will give it in favour, an Everton throw. Deep inside the Manchester United half as they attack the Stretford end. There is no margin for error for Manchester United. Yes, they have that 6-point cushion against Chelsea, but the door that is slightly ajar in the title race would certainly open up a little bit further if they were to drop points here against Everton. And there's been another goal. Cardiff against Queen's Park Rangers. Simon Mann.
Well, this has been a magnificent start to the game. We've played less than 10 minutes. It's 1-1. Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Adel Tarab has scored the equaliser. A bit more subtle than the goal scored by Jay Bothroyd, but a goal of quality from the left-hand side, over the head of the outstretched hand of Bywater into the far corner from the left. It's Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra, and then also on Sports Extra later on, Spurs against West Brom. You'll be able to hear on our sister station. Here we are on 5 Live, just 11 minutes played. Manchester United 0, Everton 0. Everton, though, have a free kick on the left-hand side, about 10 yards in from the touchline. Manchester United have every red shirt back as Everton attack the Stretford end. It's Baines curling towards the far post. Rooney, of all people, it was to head the ball away. Retrieved by Coleman, lays it back to Hibbert, pushed forward by Hibbert. And it was Billy Letdinoff, who was struggling with his balance, it seems, just couldn't collect that ball to his feet. And Manchester United clear for an Everton throw. At Hibbert quickly takes on that far side, back towards Neville, inside to Jagielka, right side of the centre circle across the halfway line to Baines. Forward now to Osman on this near side, the left. Osman will go back to Baines. Infield now to Neville. Playing in midfield over the halfway line, looks for his options, has to wait, and then finds Baines in close attendance. But under pressure from Valencia, Baines has to go back. Distan now is being harried by Hernandez. Good work rate from Manchester United, but Everton go infield, and now with Jagielka. Short forward ball on the ground to Rodwell, gets it back from Jagielka. Patient play by Everton, as Osman looking for Coleman on that right-hand side, but United giving them no time and no space whatsoever, as Dundee United increased their advantage at Tannadice. Dundee United 2, Kilmarnock 0 here. No goals at Old Trafford. Jimmy Armfield.
Yeah, it's 1 or 2 passes from Everton now, just getting a little bit more confident, I think, than they were initially. I think as much as anything else, that'll please David Moyes, a bit more comfort in the game.
Also give a little bit more space for United as an attacking force. Everton are going to go forward and show some ambition, and here are United coming forward, and Rooney playing the ball to Nani. Nani left hand side of the penalty area, checks, waits, looks up. Nani gets the shot away, but you can't help but feel the chance was maybe lost as he hesitated, and in the end it was straight at Howard.
Lovely pass by Rooney to Nani, and really wanted playing him from the byline, and he took it inside, coming on the left side, remember, onto his right foot. He was looking for a shot himself, and really he made a mess of it.
Decent game. Manchester United 0, Everton 0. Here's Evans coming out from the back now for the home side, out to O'Shea, playing at left back. And then he collects the ball in field. Short, square ball towards Rooney. Rooney, good ball towards Anderson. Anderson tried to slip it through towards Hernandez. It was blocked. Nice little back heel by Rodwell to try and alleviate some pressure on him. And Everton will bring the ball away. It's carried towards the halfway line by Osman, who was fouled by Fabio. That'll be a free kick to Everton just over the halfway line. 0-0.
Yeah, there's no outman on the left-hand side. Normally it's Baines, that's it, what Everton we're talking about here. Everton normally have Baines coming down there, but with Valencia playing wide and staying wide, Alex Ferguson's obviously done this. It's just making Baines think again before he starts trotting off down the left-hand side. When Osman got the ball there, he had no support player.
14 minutes played on 5 Live. Baines with the throw up towards Beckford on the edge of the area, over his head and straight through towards Van der Sar. And David Moyes turns away in disappointment at the distribution from that free kick for his side.
He likes to get forward, Baines. You know, he always looks confident when he's going forward, and he's got a lot of time.
Anderson to O'Shea. O'Shea at left back, strong run. Charged down by Hibbert. They appeal for handball to the crowd. It goes behind for a corner to Manchester United, which Nani quickly runs over towards that far side as United play from left to right to take. Hernandez waits by Howard inside the 6-yard area. O'Shea now makes a run. So it's Evans who makes a run. O'Shea's in the 6-yard box as well. Rooney's also in there. Anderson jogs into the penalty area as well. There's only Gibson and Valencia who are outside the penalty box. Every other Everton player is trying to match up a red shirt inside a crowded penalty area. But we're having to wait because Fabio is getting some treatment off the field of play at the moment. So temporarily they're down to 10 men in Manchester United. Nani curls on the free kick. O'Shea's header, as he runs away from goal, gently drops over the crossbar for a goal kick. 0-0.
I can never quite see the point of getting all the players back into the penalty area. Everton did it then. I always think, you know, all it does, it crowds it even more, and there's no outman. If the ball goes out, it goes out to one of the opposition, and it immediately will come back, and all your team then are trying to realign themselves.
From the goal kick from Howard. Voice of Jimmy Armfield with us here on 5 Live on this almost like a summer's afternoon rather than spring. Glorious day. Still no goals though, as Baines with a throw on the left. Little flick there by Billy Letdinov, a deft little touch. Didn't really have a purchase on it, and it was picked up by Fabio. And now Anderson out towards O'Shea on that far side. Nani just in from the touchline on the left, finds Anderson. Anderson looks up, comes in field. Hernandez drops away from Jagielka. Rooney's behind him. Here is Rooney now. He had to retreat 2 or 3 yards before picking out Fabio on this right-hand side. Valencia now comes in. Baines sticks with him. Always mindful of where Valencia is. Valencia steals a yard away from Baines. Up against Baines. Baines trying to block that route to goal. And it cannons away off the shield of that chest of Baines and out for a corner kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, since Valencia come back, of course, you know, he was out for such a long time. Since he's come back, he's given Alex Ferguson, another little arm down this right-hand side, and he's done well, I think.
Anderson to take the corner. On the right for Manchester United, headed away by Distan, strikes an Everton player, still inside the 6-yard area. Evans was making a nuisance of himself, and Distan will volley the ball away.
Yeah, it's belted right down to the other end of the field. Ferdinand picks it up really at leisure. That's what I was saying about, when you have all your players back in the box, it's a long way for the forward players like Beckford, to get back in contention.
This is Coleman now for Everton. Rodwell forward to Osman. Was he caught by Johnny Evans? Osman has stayed down. Play continues with Nani carrying the ball and then laying it out towards Valencia, coming in now off the right touchline. Hernandez and Rooney are in the penalty area. It's pulled back to Gibson. Shot from a good 25 yards out, strikes Neville, out of play, it goes for a throw. Osman's on his feet. No need for the physio as play continues. Fabio from the throw towards Ferdinand, out towards O'Shea. It's intriguing, isn't it, the game, the way it's set? Manchester United having the majority of the possession, Everton working hard.
Yeah, a bit of game of chess going on, really, defensively by both teams. Started off with, this business of Neville staying just in front of the back four, depending on where Rooney has been and so on. And it's right through the team's veins. He's not been going forward quite as much, because you've got Valencia tucked out on this side. But it is intriguing.
Here's Hernandez, muscled off the ball by Phil Neville, and then Coleman lays it to Hibbert, who exchanges passes with Neville before the right back. Again, because of the pressure that Nani was placing on him, wasn't able to clear the ball away properly first time, does do and succeed the second time as Ferdinand steps forward out of defence to head it forward. Jagielka has given it away. That was a little bit sloppy. Manchester United now can come forward. Here's Valencia. Valencia thought about the shot, lays it out towards Rooney. Rooney drills it in from the right-hand side. Jagielka redeems himself with a clearance. Manchester United just starting to turn the screw. Still 0-0 here at Old Trafford on 5 Live. Rooney with the outside of the right foot towards Anderson. 18, nearly 19 minutes played. Anderson comes forward, points with his index finger of his right hand as where he's going to play the ball, and then finds Nani inside to O'Shea. O'Shea's shot. Goal kick.
I didn't know whether it was a shot or whether he was trying to give it to the goalkeeper then. It had no power on it, and of course he's not a left-footed player. He really is a utility man, O'Shea, but he's done well for Manchester United. He's played right back, central defence, he's playing left back today, holding player in centre midfield. I wouldn't think left full back will be his favourite position.
What is remarkable though about this Everton run of unbeaten in 7 games is that the last few matches they've been without players such as Cahill, Arteta,
right,
Zaha and Fellaini, which is great testament, I suppose, to the work that David Moyes has done when you're missing so many key players for Everton.
Yes, he's done well. He's done a very good job, David Moyes, in my opinion.
Here's Osman. Had to stretch for that ball. Did he pick up a knock in the process? No, he's eventually back to his feet. Here he takes it high on the chest, brings it under control. That struck his hand. The referee, though, has played the advantage, Peter Walton. Good refereeing that to let the game flow. So 20 minutes played. It is still Manchester United 0, Everton 0. What's the latest, though, between Cardiff and Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship? Simon Mann.
Well, we played for 19.5 minutes. It's still Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Those 2 excellent goals. Firstly by Jay Bothroyd for Cardiff, and then Adel Taarabt with a floater for Queen's Park Rangers. Cardiff had other chances as well. Bellamy was in the clear on the left, just pushed a bit wide, then his shot was pushed away by the goalkeeper. Burke was wide from a good position, and before the goal, Whittingham was in behind the Rangers defence. Great chance, too close to Kenny. Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Really good atmosphere here and a good game.
Good work by Fabio to Rooney. Then it's Hernandez. Hernandez with a cross, took a deflection. That was a good take in the end by Tim Howard. There was a little bit of spin on the ball, but it was an excellent play, first of all, by Fabio, deep inside his own half, combining well with Rooney to set up that latest Manchester United attack. Still 0-0.
It was good, nice and sharp, and you described it perfectly. But Everton be annoyed, or David Moyes will be, with Billy let it off. I mean, see, he had time there, and I don't know what he was doing with it, and he lost the ball. Fabio took it off him, and Manchester United got in a very dangerous position. They might have done even better.
Just in case you need reminding, the significance of that game at Cardiff is that Queen's Park Rangers win, they'll be promoted, and commentary will be able to hear on 5 Live Sports Extras. Here is Coleman coming forward for Everton. Still goalless here at Old Trafford. Chips the ball into the penalty area. It's a timely header away by Fabio, because just running in behind him was Billy Letdinov, and Billy Letdinov may well have winded the young Brazilian who's gone down inside the United penalty area.
Yes, he's... I tell you what I can't understand, and I think they've got to sort out just he's going to get some treatment here. When players get injured, when does the referee stop the game and when does he not? There should be for head injuries and so on. We saw a moment ago, we saw Osman lying down there for about a minute. Like Manchester United didn't kick the ball out of play, so he doesn't get treatment. I think this... Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But Osman, though, did eventually get to his feet, didn't he? Whereas Fabio has stayed down.
I didn't know you can't get to his feet. You don't know that, really, do you? I'm trying to say the difficulty is really for referees as much as anything else is. It's this decision of when players kick the ball out of play when another player is injured. I'm not absolutely sure, what is the right thing to do there. I mean, we've got the respect thing and so on. Obviously, we've got to think about any player being injured. I'm not talking about that. That's paramount importance. What I'm saying is, look at him, he's walking off now.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to continue?
I would think he would do. He's back to his feet. It's 0-0. We're midway through the first half.
He's trotting around the ground, if you look now. He's actually trotting. I think the point is it's just this thing. It just concerns me a little bit. I've been to matches, where some players will kick the ball out of play if somebody lies down and others don't. What's clearing up?
Here's Alan Green to take you through to the break.
I think one of the problems, Jimmy, is that, frankly, we can't trust too many players. Too many of them feign injury. And it's in the referee's minds as well.
So difficult for ref.
The opposition's. Anyway, United are dominating the game, but Hart has not had a meaningful save to make. They'll need to do better than this, the league leaders. Still 0-0 here at Old Trafford in wonderful April sunshine. Here's Baines for Everton. Forward to Bilyaledinov. I thought he got away from Fabio. Does eventually. Gets it back to Neville. Neville lays it to Jagielka, just ahead and to the right of the centre circle. Now it's Hibbert. Hibbert with a cross into the United box, cleared on the volley by Fabio. And here's the one player who is on form, Rooney. That's the one player for Manchester United on form, Rooney. Good pass forward to Hernandez, poor from the Mexican, giving it straight back to Everton. Bilyaledinov from the Everton left, flicks it towards Beckford, headed away simply by Evans. And here's Fabio. 24 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Everton 0 in that critical game in Wales. Cardiff 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and Dundee United 2-0 up against Kilmarnock in the SPL. Here's Evans. Evans back to Rio Ferdinand. Vidic rested today. He's watching the game from the director's box about 10 yards to our left. Hernandez for Manchester United to Anderson, the Brazilian, on towards Hernandez again. Jagielka caught there. Hernandez into the penalty area, shoots from an acute angle and is pushed behind by Hart for a corner.
Yes, that was a good, smart move by Manchester United. Hernandez quick. He was so quick, in fact, that none of the Manchester United players could get up in support of him, and so he tried a shot from a very difficult angle. I think he might have just sneaked in on the near post, whatever. Howard's put it behind for a corner,
which Nani will take from the left on the far side of the field. Manchester United with his corner, and Everton again have got everybody back defending it in their penalty area. Poor corner by Nani, headed away by Hibbert. Here's Gibson. Gibson onto Valencia. Valencia, low cross, poor cross, cleared on the half volley by Distan. And here's Osman for Everton to the captain Phil Neville. Back now to Baines, and Baines slashes the ball upfield straight onto the forehead of Rio Ferdinand, who dispatches it back into the Everton half, at least temporarily. But here's Hibbert to Rodwell. Rodwell to Hibbert again, and it's played down that right side towards Beckford. Ferdinand's across. Ferdinand makes the interception, but it's not a great pass forward by the acting captain today. It's cleared upfield. There's a foul there by Coleman, and the referee, having decided that Manchester United actually didn't have the advantage in the end, brings the ball back for the free kick.
Yeah, I think initially he was waiting to see if there was an advantage as much as anything else. He's had a word with Coleman, but I think he actually was thinking about blowing up for the first foul.
19 minutes to half time, 0-0 at Old Trafford. Won't do. Here's Gibson to Evans, and Evans just up to the halfway line. On to Nani, back now to Anderson. Rooney's playing in the hole and is seeing a lot of the ball. He sees it now, gets it back to Gibson. Hernandez is the out-and-out striker for United. They've got genuine width. Nani down the left, Valencia down the right. But they haven't probed Everton that much so far. Here's Anderson to Nani, who's come in from the flank in a central position now. Tees up the shot for Gibson. Gibson's shot well wide.
Yes, we've seen Gibson, Alan, haven't we, score some terrific goals from around the edge of the box. I think he's a tendency when it comes to him at that area. That's the one thing he thought he has in his mind, and he had options out on the right hand side then, Valencia. But when he gets there, he's had a little bit of success from that point. That one, good 10 yards wide.
Manchester United beaten in the FA Cup semi-final this day last week by Manchester City, and then the draw on Tyneside on Tuesday night. So they've stuttered a little bit last couple of games, to say the least.
2 matches without a goal.
Hard with the goal kick for Everton, headed back by Ferdinand, and then it's Jagielka's head that dispatches it back to the American goalkeeper once more. Hard waving his players upfield, or further upfield. At the moment, Billy Ledenoff is pushing further forward than Osman. In fact, Osman's back on the halfway line. The ball's down the left side though with Baines. Baines back to Distan, and Distan squeezes the pass down the left touchline. Beckford, woeful control. Ball's out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, he's got that long roll up there. It's not easy for him, He's a box player, really, Beckford. That's what he's at his best. Nothing's come his way just yet. He hasn't touched the ball for a while. So when it comes there, doesn't quite get the control right.
Fabio takes a throw-in to Gibson, back to Fabio, who hits it upfield, at least into the centre circle. Jagielka meets it for Everton. Hibbert on the far side, the right full-back. Back to Jagielka, who's had a few awkward moments against Hernandez, particularly against the Mexican speed. And he was hustled into a poor pass forward, and now it's played to Hernandez, who's offside.
I was right in line. There wasn't much in it, but he went too early. But it was a good pass. It's just, you're right, Alan. That's the one thing, they've had a little bit of a problem with Everton, is Hernandez's pace. He's very good. He times his runs normally very well. He just went that little bit early there. The key figure, though, you're right, Rooney is the key figure, because he's the one who's setting the play up between the midfield and the front players.
He's been so good in that role of late, Rooney. You'd almost see him
his vision
replacing Paul Scholes in midfield eventually.
Even
such
Newcastle,
a good player
in midweek. It's his vision. He's terrific. He's had that. He's always had it, but of course now he's got the technique as well, really, to go with it.
16 minutes to half time. It's still 0-0 at Old Trafford. You're listening to 5 Live in the BBC coverage of the Barclays Premier League. Jagielka's ball, that was awful. Not having the best of games, Phil Jagielka, hitting that one straight out of play, and it's a throw-in to Manchester United. Fabio, surprisingly at right back, O'Shea at left back.
Yep.
You'd have thought it would be the other way around.
Maybe
he'll have his reasons.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I think this I think we've made this point before. I think Rooney, his best role is when he's in that sort of midfield central area where he manoeuvre himself around,
who picks him up,
come and join up front. Yeah. When he played in the World Cup as a front player, I can't see it. He's easier marked there. A player who's got talent needs to be on the ball, and being used, being able to read the game, put the passes about. When he's free, he can do it.
Gibson back to Ferdinand. Ferdinand on to Fabio, the right back. David Moyes has hardly sat down from the position in the technical area, encouraging his players who are doing quite well at the moment. 0-0. Here's Rooney. Rooney under Hernandez. Good shot. Good save by Howard.
Excellent save. Good move. Rooney, Hernandez struck it well. Good save by Howard. United still got the ball though.
Nani just to the left of the penalty area. Crosses left-footed. It's blocked by Coleman, and it's going to be a corner to Manchester United. I think that was United's best move.
Easily. It was quick, decisive, and it was a good save too by Howard.
Nani to take the corner. Anderson went short and then changed his mind. It's Nani playing it in right-footed. Evans went to meet it, didn't make any contact. Punch clear by Howard, and then there's Gibson. Was that a shot or a pass?
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's wide.
I just said it a moment ago. When he gets the ball in that area, he's got one thing on his mind.
Shooting it goal, that's all he does.
The ball came to him awkwardly then, a little bit on the volley, He could have pulled that down, look around. That's going to be his problem here, because as soon as he gets in that area, the crowd shout, shoot, because they've seen him hit some real belters. But really, as Alan told you, that was way off.
The goal kick was taken short, but then Baines plays it back to Hard. Hard's clearance upfield. Rodwell's not involved in the game. Jimmy, I look at Rodwell, who gets rave reviews. I look at Henderson at Sunderland, who gets rave reviews, and yet I look at them, in the flesh, so to speak, and they're not that good. Both of them have a lot to learn.
Well, they're both on the learning curve. People with tendency to write them too early. I was making that point to Mark Chapman earlier. He's still on a learning curve.
Oh, bad mistake by Hibbert. Balls with Nani. Nani sprinting away from the fullback on the far side. Rooney's held back. Arm aloft. He wanted the ball. It wasn't played anywhere near him, but it is a corner to Manchester United off Bill Neville.
This time he's right. He's appealing. He should have had a free kick there. Hernandez fouled him as he was running back, and he's got away with it.
Corner's taken short to O'Shea. Back to Nani. On the edge of the penalty area. Crosses in deep towards Rooney. He never left the ground. Headed away by Distan. Control from Valencia. Valencia taps it back to Anderson. Anderson about 35 yards out. On to O'Shea on the far side of the field. The fullback had come up for the corner. O'Shea's cross into the penalty area, but there's no obvious height there for United, and Distan heads it clear. And away further by Coleman. Beckford passes back to his goalkeeper. Seemed a strange choice that. Hard sliced the clearance, and it crosses the halfway line. Ferdinand beats Beckford in the air, and here's Neville onto Bilyaledinov. Nice touch to Rodwell. Rodwell's touch initially not great. In fact, it wasn't great, full stop. He lost the ball. And here's Rooney. Rooney to Hernandez. Lovely pass. 12 minutes to half time. 0-0. Hernandez approaching the penalty area, trying to take on Distan. Gets the cross in, but it hits Distan and it's behind for the corner.
Yes. A couple of nice touches from Rodwell, but then he lost the ball, and Manchester United coming on the break. Rooney out to Hernandez. Good challenge in the end by Distan. It's won a corner kick for Manchester United. United are on top at the moment.
The corners from the United right. Anderson's going to take it left-footed. There it goes. Played deliberately back to Gibson. Gibson chips it into the penalty area, where it's headed away by Rodwell. That was a rehearsed move. But in those circumstances, you almost think it's certain that Gibson's going to shoot. He crossed, and that was equally ineffective on this occasion. Here's Neville, midway inside his own half, onto Osman. Osman, just simple pass to the left to Baines, and Baines, that's a good ball down the left touchline, but Bilyaledinov took his eye off the ball. I think he was looking for the defender, and in the end he's fortunate that it's a throw into Everton.
He's a bit, I think, the Russian, I think he's a bit...
lightweight.
Well, he's a bit enigmatic. I mean, he scored a fabulous goal at Wolves. I don't know if you saw it a couple of weeks ago. And I saw him, once at Everton. He got a goal out of nothing, but he does so many things that are almost immature at times.
Rooney finds Nani onto O'Shea on the far side of the field. A little over 10 minutes to go in the first half here at Old Trafford. We're still waiting for someone to score. Here's Nani. Rolling the ball onto his right foot, low cross into the near post, where it's gathered comfortably by Hard.
There's much more threat in Manchester United's play, with the two flank players, Nani on the left, Valencia on the right, Hernandez up front with his pace, and Rooney coming up just behind. Much more threat altogether. If it carries on like this, you would imagine that the weight of pressure might eventually tell. I think Everton have got to get one or two shots at the goal. They've had no shots at all.
Osman to Beckford, just to the left of the penalty area, the United penalty area, trying to take on Evans. Beats Evans. Beckford goes down. He thinks he was fouled there, but I think Peter Walton was in an excellent position. He judges there was no infringement and certainly not a penalty kick. Here's Baines, though, as Everton picked up the stray clearance from Manchester United. Bilyaledinov. Baines again. He wants the Russian to make himself available, and he finds Bilyaledinov for the pass. Now it's back to Jagielka. Jagielka onto Rodwell. Jagielka again. Everton with plenty of players in attacking positions here. Hibbert crosses from the right. It's a glancing header on, and I'm not sure Valencia knew what he was doing there. Certainly didn't know there. As Bilyaledinov crossed the ball, he appeals for handball against Fabio. It's not, and it's been another goal at Cardiff. Simon Mann.
And Cardiff are back in the lead 10 minutes before half-time. Ball in from the right-hand side by Bothroyd. Seemed to hit the hand of a Queen's Park Rangers defender. No matter, Bellamy was there to slam in the loose ball. Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Here, 9 minutes to go in the first half at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Everton 0 on 5 Live. Anderson for United. Running away from Rodwell. Anderson then checks. He's in the centre of the Everton half now. A little pass back to Gibson. And now Nani, who'd come in from the left flank, onto Rooney. Rooney's dipping shot, didn't dip quickly enough, and it's over the crossbar.
As soon as Rooney gets the ball, there's one or two players, scramble round him. Of course, one or two of them, of course, will have played him. I think Osman, for example, will have played with him at Everton. But he's been the mainspring, really, for Manchester United. He just got underneath that one, put it over the top.
Dundee United 3, Kilmarnock 0 in the SPL. Cardiff, as you just heard, leading Queen's Park Rangers 2-1 in a match that if Queen's Park Rangers win, they'll be promoted to the Premier League. Baines now under pressure from Valencia. Valencia pushes him aside, gets away with it. Pass back to Nani. Nani's shot actually hit Hernandez, and it's behind for a goal kick off Valencia. How did they not score there?
No, what a chance that was. What a chance. There was a bit of a scramble to start with between Valencia and Baines actually, he was nudged over, but the point is that he was actually caught on the wrong side. He should have been on the goal side of Valencia, and he wasn't. Valencia was fairly pacey. When the ball came over, I thought it was a certain goal, but somehow Everton scrambled that away. That was the best chance.
7.5 minutes left in the first period. Manchester United 0, Everton 0. Anderson with a header to Rooney, around whom most things are happening. That's a good ball forward by Valencia to Hernandez on the far side. Hernandez just to the left of the penalty area. Rooney makes a late run into the box. The cross was played behind the England striker, and Baines should clear it, and does clear it comfortably to Billy Ledenov. A poor pass from the Russian. Beckford does well to win it back for Everton, finding Rodwell. On to Phil Neville. Neville now to Coleman. Coleman's been quiet as well.
Well, he has. They've been sort of occupied, dealing with the wingers. That's the problem that Manchester United have given them. Nani's keeping him back there.
Dundee United 4, Kilmarnock 0.
You see, remember this point I mentioned earlier about Billy Netdorf.
We'll call him Billy. Just call him Billy, that'll do.
How he does things that are just uncomfortable at times. And I saw David Moyes then, when he gave the ball away. Don't know why he's offside.
Well, Rooney's after it. Hard Kane retreated. Rooney gets to the ball into the penalty area, looking to squeeze the ball back for Hernandez. Picks the wrong pass, and Everton partially clear. That should have been a goal.
Well, it should. Yeah, Rooney just delayed long enough, really, to let Everton get players back. So I'll give Everton credit for that. But initially, it was Hernandez who was offside, not Rooney.
Here's O'Shea back to Anderson. That at least gets the crowd to cheer. They haven't had much cause to cheer in the first half, the United fans. 6 minutes to half time, 0-0. Poor pass from Nani, intercepted by Neville, and Neville's attempted clearance hits the Portuguese and rebounds out of play for a throw-in.
Well, we've played almost 40 minutes, and Van der Sar has not had to make a save at all, has he? No. I don't think he's hardly touched the ball. Manchester United, all the play has been, in Everton's half. And they've had two chances in the last sort of 6 minutes, I would say, where they've got away on the right-hand side, which they've not taken advantage of.
I think Everton will feel it's vitally important for them to keep it 0-0 to half-time.
Crucial if they can.
Here's Valencia. Valencia holding off Baines, and then passes back to Evans. 5 minutes to go half-time and 5 live. Manchester United 0, Everton 0 here at Old Trafford. Nani to O'Shea, back to Nani again, midway inside the Everton half and moving in from the left side, on to O'Shea for the third time. This time the pass goes back to Rooney. Rooney's tackle, lost it initially, and then as the pass is played forward by Anderson, it's away from Rooney, and Baines clatters the clearance into the crowd on this near side of the field, the south stand.
Yeah, so Everton, they're under the cosh at the moment. They can't get out. Can't get out at all. Baines was just glad to clear that ball.
I think Everton could do with a fit Tim Cahill. Badly missing him. He's on the bench today, Cahill. Might well be making an appearance, obviously, in the second half. Here's Gibson to Anderson. And Anderson scurries forward. Rooney's to his left, Valencia's to his right. Pass goes to Valencia, back to Fabio. Anderson, Fabio again. This is good football, and then Fabio's pass. I think he felt that Hernandez was going to run into the space. The Mexican didn't, and the ball's back with Hard.
Yeah, he just didn't read it there, Hernandez, as much as anything. That's the first time Fabio's really got, onto the edge of the box, of the Everton box we're talking about. He's a confident little lad.
Beckford couldn't control the ball, and Anderson just sweeps it upfield, and it's straight through to Hart.
South American contingent in force today with Anderson and Fabio.
A few around. Hart from North America with the ball on the edge of his penalty area. Actually, I just think United are rather quiet. And I don't think there's a particular urgency about their play. There will be in the second half once Sir Alex gets hold of them at half time.
Well, I think they've got to. It's a warm day, but the point is, they've had so much of the ball, and there's been a lot of running around the field. They've had 2 or 3 what I would call pretty good chances, and consequently they haven't made anything of them.
Here's Neville on the far side for Everton, attacking the Stretford end. Neville, a couple of step overs from Phil Neville, and then he slips. Oh dear, that's embarrassing. And what's the flag was being waved by the assistant on the far side, but play continues, and it's with Rooney. It was so beautiful from Phil Neville, and then he slips on his backside.
Yeah, it didn't look as good then, did it?
Anderson to Rooney, and Rooney gets away from Osman and then ran the ball straight to Hibbert, who finds Osman. Osman now to Coleman on the far side of the field. In League 2, it's Hereford 0, Shrewsbury 1. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. So how long have they been playing? About half an hour, something like that. And we've been playing nearly 43 minutes. It's still Manchester United 0, Everton 0. Everton haven't won at Old Trafford for almost 19 years.
Well, there's a few not won at Old Trafford for
There's
a few
Vidic
years.
and Owen Hargreaves.
He's going on, is he?
Vidic would love to come on. Tackled by Anderson on Billy Ledenoff, and the ball squirts out of play again. Park and Fletcher also amongst the non-playing contingent in the director's box.
Another 200 million gone down the stairs.
Throw in by Everton. I can't see because they're also moving, standing up in the director's box. That's how kind of them. Clear off. Do you know the first half still being played, folks? The ball up towards Jagielka, who beats Hernandez. They both fell over, and the pass by Neville to Coleman on the far side of the field. Coleman now to Beckford, and Beckford was fouled there by Evans. No signal from the referee that he'd seen that, and Manchester United have the ball again. It's definitely a foul by Evans on Beckford. Here's Gibson to O'Shea. O'Shea now moving slowly towards the Everton penalty area. Flicks the pass to the left to Nani. Nani now faced by Hibbert onto his right foot. Crosses in towards the near post. Jagielka with a header away. Runs to Gibson, who finds Anderson about 35 yards out. Rooney shows, gets the pass. Rooney now moves forward, shaped as if to shoot, and then he chips the ball beyond Hernandez, and it's behind for a goal kick, and we're inside the last minute of the first half.
Yeah, there was just a lack of movement in Manchester United's line there. Rooney picked the ball up right in the centre of the field, about 20 yards outside Everton's penalty area, in control, and but really there was no real movement because Hernandez, who's done most of the running off the ball, he'd actually just come back from a 50-yard run.
Old Trafford is quiet at the moment, and the longer it stays like this, the more they'll get anxious, the United fans. I don't think 0-0 is an acceptable result today for them. Still 45 minutes to go, folks.
Yes.
A minute or two
well,
towards
the
the end of
really
the first
why,
half.
With the amount of play they've had, the wonder why they haven't got in front as much as anything.
Yeah, that's a foul by Gibson on Rodwell. Referee certainly spotted it very quickly. We've got a minute of added time. Free kick to Everton, 15 yards inside the Manchester United half. Everton playing towards the Stretford end for the next minute. Neville takes the free kick, and it was played cleverly to Osman. Osman just to the left of the penalty area. Osman retreating, steps one way then the other, and Fabio was watching the ball. Well done, the full-back. He wasn't fooled by Osman's antics, and it's cleared now to Anderson. Anderson up to the halfway line, to Nani in the far side of the field. Rooney joining in the attack. Hernandez is already up there. Nani's got the ball now inside the penalty area. Will he get the cross in? He delays, and he slips. And this Old Trafford surface is not as good as maybe it looks. Pat Nevins forever going on about what he thinks is a poor surface. Too many players slip on the Old Trafford pitch.
They've got a tendency here. We mentioned this before, haven't we? About they do water the ground.
Also, probably the tendency to wear blades and not studs, Jim.
Well, there is.
Doesn't help. We've had our minute of added time. The ball is with Beckford, near side of the field. Back to Billy Ledenoff, and now Rodwell. And heaven only knows why we're carrying on. It is half-time now, Jimmy, and I don't know. I don't think United are playing that well.
They've had a lot of possession. They've had two good chances, in my opinion. I thought the angle shot that Hernandez had earlier on, that was saved by Howard, might have just spurred them on a little bit, but it hasn't. Hernandez had one good effort. The best move of the match was passed by Rooney, and he finished it well. Good save by Howard. And then towards the end of the half, we had that chance where Rooney got on the right-hand side. Nani really should have finished it, but Everton managed to get a foot there and put it away. But so far, nothing's gone at Van der Sar's goal. Manchester United had a lot of possession, but frankly, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and this scoreline will not do for the team that wants to become champions. Manchester United 0, Everton 0.
Goalless at half-time then at Old Trafford. You've had a much better first half by the sounds of it at Cardiff. Simon Mann.
Hugely enjoyable. We're in the second minute of 3 at the end of the first half. It's Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Cardiff deserved their lead, but Rangers have played their part in a stirring game. We had 2 excellent goals inside the first 10 minutes. A powerful shot from the right side of the box from Jay Bothroyd put Cardiff ahead, but 4 minutes later Adel Tarab curled in a delightful equaliser. Cardiff responded. Bellamy and Burke had chances. Queen's Park Rangers came back. Forlan and Smith had headers and they were wide. Then Bellamy, 10 minutes before half-time, scored when the ball hit the hand of Connolly. The ball was loose and Bellamy whacked in the rebound. A few moments ago, Sean Derry's shot was really well saved by Bywater away to his left-hand side. Still playing, Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
One game going on in League 2 at the moment. This kicked off at 1 o'clock. It's Hereford 0, Shrewsbury 1. The latest from Edgar Street. This is 5 Live Sport. Mark Chapman live at Molineux. Wolves against Fulham, our 3 o'clock commentary game this afternoon. Let's get a news update now. Here's Corey Allen.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
2 men have been arrested in Glasgow by police targeting people suspected of carrying out internet hate campaigns against figures connected with Celtic and Rangers. They've been charged with sectarian breach of the peace. The Strathclyde Force says the operation is ongoing. Officers are expecting to target around 50 people who are thought to have posted comments online. A man's appeared in court charged with terrorism offences after being detained by police investigating the murder of Constable Ronan Kerr in Omagh. 33-year-old Gavin Coyle has been remanded in custody for 4 weeks. Funerals are being held in Syria for anti-government protesters killed yesterday, and there are reports of fresh protests and at least 5 more deaths. Witnesses say shots had been fired at funerals in the suburb of Damascus. Leaders of the National Union of Teachers are warning of possible strikes this summer over the government's pensions plans. Members of the NUT will vote this afternoon on whether to ballot for industrial action. The writer and creator of Only Fools and Horses, John Sullivan, has died. He was 64 and had suffered a short illness. On the roads, one lane is closed on the M11 southbound and there are queues. It's after a crash between junction 8 at Bishop Stortford and junction 7 at Harlow. On the M32 southbound in Bristol, one lane is closed. It's because of a broken down car at Hambrook. That's junction 1. In Leicestershire, on the M69 southbound, there are delays. The road is blocked after a serious crash between junction 1 at Nuneaton and the M6. In East London, the southbound Blackwall Tunnel is closed until the early hours of Tuesday morning for roadworks. It's already causing long delays for the Woolwich Ferry. Clockwise, queues over the QE2 bridge on the M25 from junction 30, and for westbound the A13 and highway towards Tower Bridge and the Rotherhithe Tunnel, which is southbound only this weekend. Corey Allen, 5 Live Travel.
This is 5 Live Sports
with Mark Chapman.
And we're still in the tunnel at Molineux because Wolves against Fulham is our 3 o'clock game. Joining me, Fulham assistant manager Mark Bowen. As a Welshman, first of all, I just have to tell you, Cardiff 2, QPR 1 at half-time.
Yeah, that was pleasing to hear that, Mark. Yeah, we just arrived at the ground here and we had it on the coach a little bit of the commentary, but hopefully they can see it through now and get the 3 points.
You might not have seen the Wolves programme as yet, but they begin with their column on Fulham saying each time when Fulham have got themselves into a bit of trouble this season, they found a little extra to keep their heads above water when the pressure is built up, and now approach the final 6 matches in a position of relative comfort.
Well, I don't know, but when they say each time they found us in trouble, yeah, we had a difficult period around about Christmas time, but there was a firm belief in the camp around about that time that we were missing key players to our squad at the time through injuries. Bobby Zamora, Moussa Dembele, just two if you like, but and we were playing well enough. And you know what it's like, Mark. You see all the stats and you read all the stats and you get them all reported back to you on a Monday morning after games. And even on the eye we knew we were playing well, if you like, but even looking at the stats we knew that we were doing okay, lots of possession, but couldn't quite create it into actual goals scored. You know what I mean? So now the lads are back. We feel we're playing well, and we've been on that upward curve, we feel, since the new year, really.
Do you then approach the last 6 games in relative comfort, or are you? Do you have a points tally to be comfortable?
We have a points tally that we obviously keep in house, if you like, for one to get an actual stick at the end of the season. But no, I think with the manager that the club's got, I think it's been proved through his managerial career that none of his teams tend to ease off. He won't allow that to happen, and we tend to go into the final months of the season training perhaps that extra bit harder and putting more emphasis on a real desire, if you like, to go and get jobs done at the end of the season, coming into the last few games. So that won't be allowed to happen, and we firmly believe we'll finish the season on a strong note.
Mark Hughes gave a really interesting press conference yesterday and spoke about the pressure of management at this time of the season. Is that the same when you're the assistant manager as well?
Well, I've only ever been an assistant, so I can only comment from my point of view. Yeah, of course it's a stressful job. I dare say it's a fair bit less stressful than the manager, because you're at the sharp end of the stick, if you like, all the time. But I think you're alluding to the situation with Gerald Houllier, and I think everybody wishes him the best and a speedy recovery. But it's the nature of the beast of the game we're in. It's points and certainly wins in the Premier League are like gold dust, and there's a very thin line between success and failure. As I say, probably a lot of it can depend on individual refereeing decisions on the day. So I think that's bringing in the refereeing situation as well. That's why probably that managers tend to give them a lot of stick, because your livelihood depends on their reading of situations at times.
But I suppose when you're the assistant and when you have the close relationship like you have with Marcus, you're kind of keeping an eye on him as well as your players.
Yeah, I think so. We're there, the whole staff behind Mark are there to basically help him and advise him and try the best we can to take the pressure off at times. I don't know how well that works. I suppose you'd have to ask him that question, the same as every other manager in the league. But as I say, it's a stressful time for everybody concerned. But right from the start of the season, you put yourself under pressure as a coach, as a manager, I think, because you've got high standards and you want to win every single game you go into.
Bobby Zamora broke his leg in this corresponding fixture. You mentioned getting him back. You must be pleased with how he's come back.
Yeah, very much so. He's still getting a few little niggles, Bobby. I mean, he was out for a long time, and I dare say we probably won't see him back to his 100% best possibly until the start of the next season, when he's had a pre-season under his belt again. And he's had, alluding to the fact he's had a few little niggles and stiffness this week as well. So it is a long process back for him, because it was a very bad injury he had. But we're delighted to have him back, and he'll play a major part from now on into the end of the season.
I know you've got a lot to do, so I appreciate you joining us in the tunnel.
Pleasure,
your players have already walked out to have a look at the pitch. If you're going that way, just be careful, because the sprinklers are quite powerful.
Yeah, they'll turn it on as I go out, probably.
Mark, thank you very much.
Mark. Thank you.
Wolves assistant manager, Fulham assistant manager, Mark Bowen, joining us. Wolves against Fulham, 3 o'clock game here on 5 Live Sport. Let's go to the Crucible, shall we, and get the latest on the world snooker. Here's Philip Studd.
Where I've been watching a stirring comeback this afternoon from Antrim's Mark Allen. He really struggled in the early stages of his second round match against Barry Hawkins, trailed 7-3, had to pip the next frame courtesy of a clearance to the black, but the left-hander, who's been receiving treatment of late for clinical depression and fought back valiantly to pip Matthew Stevens in the first round, well, he's put together a 6-frame surge here to take a 9-7 lead into tonight's deciding session. 13 frames, of course, is the target. Already through to the quarterfinals today, snooker's brand new superstar, Judd Trump, a 13-6 winner over Martin Gould. But we're really gearing up here, Mark, for the showdown between the Rocket and the Magician. It's O'Sullivan against Murphy, who's accused O'Sullivan of being unprofessional this season. No love lost. It's a heavyweight contest, if ever there was one, and it's underway at 2:30.
Still in the tunnel here at Molineux, now joined by Wolves striker Kevin Doyle. First of all, how's the injury?
It's good. It's a good week I've had, actually, to be honest, out running this week. It's been 4 weeks today since I did it, so I was out running this week, and we're aiming for the last 2 games of the season. Whether we make it or not, I don't know, but that's, at the moment we're on track for that.
So that spurs you on, I suppose, given it gives you a target to try and aim for.
It was a bit up in the air for the first few weeks. You don't know when you're, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, but now it looks, we're getting to that stage where you can sort of start to predict how quickly it's going to heal.
What kind of watcher are you when you're injured?
Not very good at all. I love supporting the lads and all, but I just hate watching games when they're not playing. You want to be, today the pitch looks unbelievable. The best pitch has looked all season. It's a sunny day and you just want to, you get that adrenaline and you want to be out there and then doing it, and it's just so frustrating to be watching.
I just saw you came out of the dressing room then. So do you still feel involved on a match day? Does McCarthy make sure you're involved in everything?
Definitely, yeah. You're welcomed into the dressing room. For as long as you want, to wish everyone well. You don't have to. You're not kicked out. Nothing. You're there, and it's a good thing. And you hang around, see everyone, and keeps you that a bit of adrenaline going, keeps you wanting to be there. Where if you're away and away from all this, you sort of forget about it a bit, and maybe you wouldn't have that wanting feeling to get back as quick. I don't know what it is. This gives you that adrenaline to make you want to be back on that pitch as soon as possible.
Why are you in this position, given some of the football you've played this season, your performances against the so-called big boys, the big 4, the big 5? Why are you in this position?
I don't know. I've seen you at a few games. You tell me. I've been on the pitch and it's hard to tell. We've beaten some of the big teams, and then we've gone out the following week and lost to teams around us. We could never get a run going all season long. It was one win and lose a couple of big win to keep us alive and in the shout, and then lose a couple. So, we had a run 4, 5, 6 games there last month, and it was looking very good. And then the international breaks, we had a FA Cup break and international break in a row, and it seemed to upset us in the last 2 games. Been probably our worst performance of the season.
We played an interview with Matt Jarvis at the beginning of the programme and talked about him making his England debut this year as well. As a front man, give us an appreciation of him.
Well, the way we've played a lot this season, 4-5-1. So I'm up front my own, and you're trying to hold the ball up, and you see the likes of Jarvo speeding out as fast he runs. To be able to, so you need people supporting you quickly, and he, fantastic at that. He's got the ability to go both ends of it, defending and attacking. If you ask his fullbacks, I'm sure they'll appreciate how he helps them out, and vice versa. For me, to be able to have someone supporting you that quickly, which has allowed us to play the 4-5-1, the 2 wingers supporting us, and he's exceptional at it. And then to get, he's nicked a few goals, and his deliveries from corners and set pieces. Last year he was probably just as good, but didn't get the recognition. But one thing I think he's improved since I've come here is his deliveries are getting better all the time, which really starting to show. And
we've talked a lot, certainly today already. It was with Mark Byrne before, and also the past couple of weeks, about the pressure that managers are under at this time of year when you're in the relegation battle. How do you feel as a player in the middle of this? I mean, do you find it difficult to sleep? Do you find it difficult to concentrate on other things?
You do, because it's basically next 4 weeks going to determine, a lot of things in the next year of your life. So it is just, you think about it, you try to put them to the back of your mind, but imagine this is what a player's thinking. Imagine what it's like for a manager. It must be an absolute nightmare. That's the one thing, sometimes I think I'd love to be a manager, but then when you see how it is, you think, God, to put yourself through that, it must be you go grey early and lose a lot of hair early, I reckon. So it is stressful, but it's stressful. We're playing in the Premier League and we have a great life. So in the wider scheme of things, it's not really.
No, don't mention the grey hair thing to your manager.
Or they're losing it bit either.
Brilliant, Kevin. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you managed to watch it in relative comfort this afternoon. Thank you very much, world striker Kevin Doyle. Let's get an update on the county cricket, shall we? Division 2, Steve Mays watching Northamptonshire against Essex.
Yeah, and a great morning for the second division leaders Northants, who are staring at a long day in the field and an odds-on draw when they pitched up at 11 o'clock here this morning. They picked up 4 wickets, including Alistair Cook for 28 and Ravi Bapara for 5. Essex needing 106 to make Northants bat again, are 102 for 4. At Chester Street, we've just heard that Sussex have beaten Durham by 2 wickets. Luke Wells made 102. That's his first-class century. Worcestershire set 288 to beat Warwickshire at Worcester, are 18 for 1. Back into Division 2, Glamorgan following on against Surrey, are 44 for 2. And Middlesex needing 328 to beat Derbyshire, are 216 for 6.
Lee Westwood is keeping up the pressure on Luke Donald as both bid to become world number 1. Westwood has a 5-shot advantage after 3 rounds of the Indonesian Masters. Victory would see him regain his world number 1 spot if Donald fails to win the Heritage Heritage in South Carolina, though Donald does actually lead that by 1 shot. One game going on in the SPL, Dundee United 4, Kilmarnock 1. Here at Molineux this afternoon, our commentary team will be John Murray and Tim Flowers. Afternoon to you both.
Hello, good afternoon.
Tim, hearing Kevin Doyle there and talking about the pressure of relegation, can you sympathise, empathise?
Absolutely. I mean, the first 2 years of my career were here at Wolves in the first team, and we got relegated back on the bounce. So, it's not great news. And, of course, everybody wants to play in the Premiership. It is the division to play in world football.
John, it's going to be a nervous afternoon, isn't it? Because as well as Wolves against Fulham, we've got Blackpool, Newcastle, Sunderland, Wigan.
Yes, it is. And, something, I think when the weather's like this, it almost increases the pressure because it feels that the end of the season is ever so close. So I just think that actually adds to the sense of tension and nerves there are around games like this on days like this.
That was short and sweet from both of you. We will hear more from John and Tim, I promise, as we build up to the 3 o'clock games, and full commentary here on 5 Live Sport from Molineux of Wolves against Fulham from 3 o'clock. But Everton are already back out at Old Trafford. Goalless at half-time between themselves and Manchester United. Let's rejoin Jimmy Armfield and Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. You talk about a nervous afternoon. It could well be a nervous afternoon yet here for Manchester United if they don't get the goal to get the 3 points against an Everton side that are going to make 2 changes here at the start of the second half. Tim Cahill is coming on for Billy Letdinov. Cahill, 1 appearance in the last 2 months. He's missed the last 3. And Beckford is the other change. And it's Victor Anachibi who's actually coming on for Beckford. So they're the 2 changes that David Moyes has made at the start of the second half. Not surprised about Billy Letdinov, the Russian who scored a fantastic goal against Manchester United. In fact, last season it was voted Everton's goal of the season. Unable to produce a great deal here today. So Anachibi for Beckford, Cahill for Billy Letdinov. 2 changes for Everton. 0-0 then at the start of the second half here in the Barclays Premier League on 5 Live. Everton in all royal blue, playing from left to right. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end in their red shirts and white shorts. And remember, Sir Alex Ferguson had made 5 changes. He'd rested Vidic ahead of this game. Van der Sar in goal, O'Shea. In fact, Fabio playing at right back, Ferdinand, Johnny Evans and O'Shea at left back. And then the midfield of Valencia, Gibson, Anderson and Nani, Hernandez and Rooney. And this is how Everton now line up. Tim Howard, Hibbert, Jagielka, Distan and Baines, Coleman, Neville, Rodwell, Osman, Cahill and Victor Anachibi. And I've just been told as well that Sir Alex thinks he's forgotten his glasses and he sent someone to go and get them from the tunnel. So Sir Alex Ferguson without his glasses, easily done of course, isn't it, Jimmy?
Must be, for people who forget things. I'm always losing my glasses case. Yeah. That's because the glasses are on my nose, probably. The case, that's the one I'm always losing. But anyway, interesting the changes, really. The experience, of course, Cahill, very important player to Everton. It'd be good to have him back for them. And slightly different person coming in, Anachibi, strong player.
Manchester United, they posed questions of Tim Howard, but their former goalkeeper kept out Hernandez low shot and then did well to beat away. And also a Hernandez shot with a reflex save after a smart move. But it's still 0-0. And Everton now with Anichebe bringing the ball down off the chest. He's a bulky young striker, of course, for Everton. Has had injury problems. Ferdinand gets away with that. There's a little bit sloppy in defence. It cannoned away off Baines and was eventually cleared downfield by Van der Sar. But Sir Alex Ferguson now in the technical area. Of course, he's completed his 5-match touchline ban. This is his first game since then. He's there with Mike Phelan and glasses, watching on. And as every minute ticks by, we'll just start to get a little bit more anxious as well, because they will not want to drop points here against an Everton side who are looking to extend their unbeaten run to 8 games in the Premier League. And Everton have worked hard, although they've created very little, in fact absolutely nothing against Van der Sar apart from that tame shot by Osman. They have worked hard against a Manchester United side that has been thwarted on a couple of occasions by Tim Howard.
Yeah, Osman's dropped now back into the midfield area. And Rodwell sort of on the more central with Neville. Coleman out on the right for Everton.
Sir Alex Ferguson in his programme notes, fully aware of the danger that Everton would pose as Hernandez collects this ball on the right-hand side, forward down that right touchline to Valencia, rolls it back to Fabio, playing it right back. Fabio sends over a curling ball, Rooney can't control it, and Coleman will clear on the edge of the penalty area. Ferguson talks about how Everton have done exceptionally well, especially with the injuries of late, and how he says if Manchester United don't maintain maximum concentration here today, then they could come a cropper. Manchester United 6 points clear of Chelsea and Arsenal, still being held by Everton. They have this imperious home record, of course. They've won 17 of their 18 home games. Only West Bromwich Albion have taken something away from Old Trafford, so they've collected the 52 points out of 54. Good job as well when you consider their poor away form, which was as Gibson looks for a ball over the top, headed away by Baines on the run, with Valencia running shoulder to shoulder. Picked up though by Rooney midway through the Everton half. Sliding in was Baines, preventing Valencia from any space whatsoever. This is Neville now, former Manchester United player. Osman back to Rodwell. David Moyes just passed the ball out towards this right hand side, and here is Hibbert, the right back, forward over the halfway line. Back to Rodwell again, the England under-21 international. Phil Neville, short forward ball to Cahill. He likes to get forward from midfield. A player to watch certainly for United. 0-0. Osman out to Cahill, drifting out into space, left hand side, urges the blue shirts to push on forward. Ferdinand clears with a toe end away from Baines. Anderson in front of the back four, an ambitious ball in the air looking for Hernandez. United yet to get into any rhythm in this second half. Jimmy Armfield.
Nice little move by Everton, I thought that, and it was a poor cross from Cahill in the end, and really Manchester United might have made a little bit more about it, but Everton had players forward.
Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. The champagne might well have to be on ice as far as Queen's Park Rangers are concerned. Manchester United looking for 3 points themselves here in the Barclays Premier League. 5 minutes played into the second half. Here is Neville wanting to take a throw for Everton. He'll leave it for Jagielka. Jagielka along the ground to Cahill. Cahill into the penalty area with his back to goal to Coleman. A little bit off balance with a left-footed shot, and it goes well wide for a goal kick to United.
Yes, it was nice little layup up to the front players, and just for a second Manchester United were caught, I thought. But the shot's off target. A little more composure about Everton's play so far in the second half.
They've actually not scored on their last 3 visits to Old Trafford. As Alan was saying in the first half, they have to go back to August 92 since they actually last won in the Premier League. But when you consider that they're also playing Chelsea on the final day of the season, David Moyes' side could have a major say in the title race, particularly if they can continue to hold Manchester United here today. It would give Chelsea a massive boost ahead of their home game against West Ham at 5:30.
Yes, it would. Bit unlucky there to concede a free kick. Nichibi was running forward, and all he's done was just caught Fabio, who went down and stayed down. But I don't think there was any intent of a foul, but it's given Manchester United a free kick.
Which Rio Ferdinand, 10 yards inside his own half, will just stroke back towards Van der Sar. Van der Sar quickly plays it forward to Johnny Evans. Can Everton continue to contain Manchester United as they search for the goal? Gibson towards Fabio, miscontrols the ball, it runs away from him, tries to win it back, goes in strongly on Anichebe. Anichebe goes down, clutching his knee as the ball is played forward by Neville towards Coleman on this right hand side. O'Shea has gone with him. The 2 Irishmen down by the corner flag. Coleman loses out to O'Shea. Does he get a second chance at it? Nani has doubled up on Coleman, and a combination of Nani and O'Shea will work the ball away for Manchester United. Anichebe is back on his feet. That's a good ball from Anderson. Good control as well by Hernandez, who just waits. Hernandez outside the penalty, looks for Rooney. Excellent defending by Jagielka. Running back, sliding challenge inside the penalty area. because Rooney was in on goal.
Just back in time, Jagielka, but it was good timing as much as anything else. Real chance for Manchester United there. Didn't quite open up the pace of the pass. Was just a little bit short.
Mike Phelan has just ordered Everett and Raphael to get warmed up as well for Manchester United. 8 minutes into the second half. Still goalless here on 5 Live. Ferdinand comes forward, the United captain, right of the centre circle. Out towards Fabio on that right-hand side. Back to Ferdinand, under pressure from Cahill. Has to turn around, just drops back inside his own half. Towards Evans. The Northern Ireland international will stroke the ball back towards Ferdinand, who's quite casual in possession. Very relaxed. They're not going anywhere, Manchester United. Anderson drops deep to collect the ball from Evans. Goes in very strongly once again.
Well done, Coleman.
Coleman quickly on his feet.
Did very well, Coleman there. He didn't make any meal of it. The referees adjudged that Anderson came sliding in with his foot up. He's got the yellow card. I'd actually thought Fabio was lucky on the other side with the challenge on Anichebe, but there we go.
Everett's going to be coming on for Manchester United. They'll be looking for that width down the left-hand side, just to try and stretch Everton, because Everton have done well in this early stage of this second half. 9 minutes played, still 0-0. Here's O'Shea. Toe ends the ball away. Evans goes in on Hibbert. The ball cannons away off Hibbert. Hibbert certainly wasn't going to shirk from that challenge. It'll be a goal kick. You can sense the urgency here from the Manchester United players as Van der Sar, with a hurried goal kick, maybe a little bit too hurried, put pressure on his defence. Cahill then goes in on Ferdinand. Ferdinand a little bit theatric in his fall to the ground, and Cahill will be shown a yellow card. Ferdinand was quickly on his feet. He was fortunate there, Van der Sar.
He was fortunate, but a little bit more in Everton's game, isn't there, in this second half? A little bit more of a threat, but Cahill, of course, he's a good competitor.
Here is Nani to Hernandez. Outstretched left leg from Distan, directs the ball away from the penalty area, and Distan again will sweep the ball clear forward towards Anichebe. Leans into Ferdinand, gets away from the England international. Victor Anichebe into the penalty area, still going, goes underground, and another challenge from Ferdinand. Was that a penalty? The referee, Peter Walton, is unmoved.
Well, Anichebe was running
for a penalty.
He was actually, what it was, Anichebe, I thought might have released it a bit earlier than he did, but the referee, he couldn't have been better positioned than that. He seemed to sort of leaned on him, didn't he, as much as anything else? You'd have seen it given sometimes.
Certainly, had he had a better touch prior to that, then Anichebe would have been in on goal.
He would. His first touch let him down, actually, but he was in.
Much more of a contest, though, here in the second half from an Everton side who worked extremely hard in the first period to try and contain Manchester United, but the visitors are posing a threat in this second period. 0-0. Nani for Manchester United. Left-hand side, midway through the Everton half, towards Rooney. Flag is raised. Hernandez was offside.
Yes, I suppose the contention will be whether he actually pushed him, and to be frank, we're not in the best position to see that. We're not even sideways on, we're at an angle. But the referee could not have been in a better position than he was. But nevertheless, we're just looking at a replay now. He gave him a little bit of a nudge, certainly. He's coming in on the left-hand side, and Ferdinand gets his left arm underneath Anichebe's arm. So, well, on a good day, Everton might have been lucky there. Got the spot kick.
It just required more composure from Anichebe, didn't it?
The first touch let him down. You're absolutely right.
That change has happened, by the way. Evra has replaced O'Shea at left-back for Manchester United. 12 minutes into the second half here on 5 Live. Still Cardiff lead Queen's Park Rangers by 2-1. Shrewsbury are leading at Edgar Street. Hereford 0, Shrewsbury 1, and Dundee United convincingly beating Kilmarnock in the SPL. Gibson, short ball out towards Valencia. Valencia on the halfway line, plays it in the air. Jagielka with a header back, looping into the arms of Howard, who made those two important saves in the first half. Throws it out towards Baines. Baines picks out Cahill, who's that link, isn't he, from the midfield to the attack for Everton. But he's lost possession, and this is Valencia. Valencia on the right-hand side, held up by Rodwell, has to turn, continues to run in field and then lays it off towards Anderson, running onto this ball just outside the centre circle. Evra joins the attack on this near side, the left, as they attack the Stretford end. Manchester United still no goals here on 5 Live. Nani to Rooney, Rooney with his back to goal, back towards Nani, closed down by Neville, bobbles away from Neville. Anderson keeps the attack going for Manchester United. Hernandez towards Valencia, outside the penalty area. Valencia with a chip into the penalty area, headed away by Hibbert, comes down towards Gibson with a shot, comes off Jagielka, who just threw himself in front of that right-footed shot from the Irishman. Corner kick to Manchester United, 0-0.
Good defending by Jagielka. The ball came out to Gibson, be about 25 yards out, just to the left of centre, and he tried to dipping volley, but Jagielka threw himself at the ball. Manchester United got a corner,
and it's a corner down by the tunnel on this left-hand side. Nani, not a long run up, short run up in towards the near post, headed away by Hibbert, comes out to Rooney. Rooney's shot, couldn't get it away. It was a good block by Neville. And this is Valencia asking far too much of Fabio on the overlap on that right-hand side, and Jagielka defended well, although his chip almost put his side back in danger. But Rodwell under pressure from Manchester United. They haven't properly got the ball away at Everton. Now they have with Jagielka. That was a better clearance, urged on by this Old Trafford crowd. Manchester United looking for the all-important goal. Nani, left-hand side. Coleman and Hibbert looking to double up on Nani. He's away from Coleman, works over the cross, and he actually takes a deflection into the side netting, much to the frustration of Tim Howard. Corner kick to Manchester United, 0-0.
Yes, it was good cover by Everton again. They're competing very well, I think, Everton so far. Well, you expect that from this team.
Another corner for Manchester United, which Nani, slight incline as he takes the corner, actually plays it along the ground. And then Evans caught Distan, and that'll be a free kick as we go to Cardiff against Queen's Park Rangers and Simon Mount.
11 minutes played in the second half. Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. No suggestion of a Queen's Park Rangers equaliser so far in the second half. In fact, Cardiff looked a bit more likely. Whittingham was over, and then Olifijana's goal-bound volley was blocked by Bradley Orr near the line. Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
And Kilmarnock is staging a little bit of a fight back at Tannadice in the SPL. Dundee United 4, Kilmarnock 2. It's still Hereford 0, Shrewsbury 1 in League 2. Here an hour has been played. Ryan Giggs is warming up. Michael Carrick is warming up as Gibson wins the ball from Rodwell. Rooney looking for Hernandez. Slide rule pass towards Hernandez. Hernandez tries to cut it back. Good block, sliding by Distan. Comes back towards Hernandez. Hernandez with a cross, headed away by Baines. Anderson will try and pick up that ball in the sunshine. Midway through the Everton half, still 0-0. Anderson out towards Valencia, right-hand side. Valencia away from Baines, into the penalty area. Valencia still going, stands it up towards the far post. Nobody is there. Coleman will clear for Everton.
Anywhere, yes, to get it away, just under a bit of pressure again. Everton, Rodwell again gave the ball away, and that's what really set that up.
They've had some good results on their travels of late, have Everton. They drew at Chelsea in the FA Cup, they beat Newcastle and Wolves, and here they're holding the leaders, Manchester United. As Manchester United look to exert further pressure on this Everton back line. Here's Anderson. Giggs and Carrick continue to limber up in front of us. Good ball out towards Nani on the left-hand side, up against Hibbert. Evra's on the overlap, crosses into the penalty area, though does Nani. Headed away by Jagielka. Loose ball picked up by Gibson. Quickly to Nani, offering the width on this near side. Nani coming in field now. Leaning into him was Coleman, just trying to do enough to hold him off. Back out towards Evra on this left touchline. Evra now runs in field, up against Hibbert. Low ball into the penalty area. Hernandez with his back to goal, can't get the touch. Everton will eventually clear through Phil Neville.
Yeah, they've got another chance now, Manchester United, with Evra playing. I do feel he's an important player for Manchester United on this left-hand side. He gives them that extra width. He got the ball over there. Jagielka's done a great job so far for Everton.
Ball over the top is too deep, and it'll run away for a goal kick. And Michael Owen is coming on for Manchester United.
Yeah.
It's getting tense, Jimmy.
It is getting tense. Good. That's what makes football. And he's going to take Nani off. I think Everton will be pleased about that.
What do you make of that change? Owen for Nani.
I'm not quite sure really what he's thinking of here. Obviously He's hoping that Michael Owen, can just nick the goal perhaps.
It looks like Rooney's going to go to the left now.
He'll come out on this side. That's what will happen. Because Nani's one of these players, he's always a threat. He's always likely to do something. He's got this lovely touch on the ball. There are times when he frustrates you and annoys you. But, he's the kind of player who can just open it up. But anyway, Everton obviously giving United something to think about here now.
Well, they dropped points in midweek at Newcastle when they were held to a goalless draw at St James's Park. Newcastle played well. They're in danger of dropping 2 more points here. If it stays like this, there's still a long way to go. 27 minutes remaining.
Half an hour, yeah.
0-0. Rooney looking for a ball for Hernandez. Hernandez with an outstretched right leg. Just asking too much of the Mexican.
I must be honest, they've had a bit of success with long balls, particularly from the goalkeeper, Manchester United, and they persisted with that when Van der Sar came. But I think their normal play, I think they're always better when they play what I call a link game, with the pass game. I think that's where they're really very good. And I think in this second half, the passes haven't been quite, as adventurous as they might be at times. And anyway, we'll see.
Rodwell heading it forward. Anderson holding off Osman, continuing to hold off Osman, who is a little bit too combative, snapping away at the heels, and in the end, ultimately, giving away a free kick. As we'll go around the grounds and get some team news from our 3 o'clock game, starting at Bloomfield Road. A very important game. Blackpool, of course, in the bottom 3. They're at home to Newcastle. David Oates.
And Ian Holloway's made 3 changes. Baptiste for Cathcart, Vaughan for Grundine, and Phillips for Varney. There's just 1 Newcastle change. Nolan free from suspension now for Guthrie.
Thanks, David. 64 minutes played here at Old Trafford. There's a bit of a breeze sweeps around the main stand, with the breeze at the door opening a little bit further as far as the title race is concerned. Should it stay like this for the chasing teams, Chelsea and Arsenal, who are at Bolton tomorrow. You'll hear commentary of that on 5 Live from 4. That's after Rangers against Celtic at 12:30. Anderson picking up a loose ball here in the Everton half. Anderson driving forward for Manchester United as they play from right to left. Anderson's shot. Did it take a deflection? Peter Walton eventually giving a goal kick.
No, it was I couldn't.
Oh, he's changed his mind, has he?
No, he hasn't. I think what he's doing.
It is a goal kick. He took his time, though, didn't he?
Well, he did, because he didn't know. And the linesman actually didn't give him a great deal of help. He was rather slow, pointing out that he thought it was a goal kick. But the Manchester United players thought it was a corner kick, as you would expect. Anderson coming in from the right-hand side, hit that with his left foot. Oh, yeah, the referee's down.
Peter Walton just slipped.
It was Valencia, he tripped you. I saw him, ref.
It's his first match he's actually taken charge of at Old Trafford since September 2009. And Peter Walton just having a little tumble there, much to the enjoyment of this Old Trafford crowd.
Get him on telly, that tonight.
Imagine though the crowd, every United fan listening, will continue to feel a little bit more nervous as the minutes tick by.
But if it finishes 0-0, would you consider that a point won or 2 points lost?
2 points lost, wouldn't you?
I suppose sometimes when you're in the situation Manchester United, every point counts because the rest have got to catch them. But yes, I think they would be looking for the 3 today here.
Well, certainly Sir Alex Ferguson was saying if we win, we're at least 6 points clear with 4 games to play. That is a situation, even though they are playing Arsenal and Chelsea, I think they'd be happy with.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to be sort of sweating it out against the other 2, would they?
No, but they wouldn't want to drop 2 points today, which would be 4 in a week.
When you look at their own record this season, only 1 draw, all the rest victories. This is where they get it. You get the points.
Actually undefeated in 28 games in total at home since Chelsea won last April. But they need the 3 points today. Here is Owen, the substitute, without a shadow of a doubt. Anything else is a bad result for Manchester United and will offer plenty of encouragement for Chelsea in action later on at 5:30 and Arsenal tomorrow. And Everton have been good value for this in the second half. We're midway through the second period. It's Manchester United 0, Everton 0. This could well be a defining 22 and a half minutes in the title race. Alan Green.
A draw will not do for United. It's as simple as that. Here's Osman over the halfway line for Everton, who's shown a great deal more in the second half of this game here at Old Trafford. Good ball on. to Osman again, edge of the penalty area. He plays it back deliberately towards Coleman. Vital header away that was by Evra. Cahill to Neville. And Rodwell, who's done very little in the game, has to be said, for all the hype surrounding the young player. Here's Coleman. Coleman to Hibbert. Hibbert midway inside the United half, the Everton right back. Back to Neville, and here's Distan. Everton have shown far more interest in going forward in the second period.
Yeah, the back four have stood well in Neville, I think. You know, they've stood really well in this match.
Neville, good ball to the left side in Baines. Baines into Osman. Rodwell shows and gets the ball about 25 yards out. On his right foot, shoots low. Great save by Van der Sar.
Well, he spoke to life, Rodwell, there. A few passes went before that from Everton, and Rodwell picked it up on his right foot. He got it about 10 yards outside the penalty area. It was a good shot, and I think that might have sneaked in on the far post.
It was going in, Jim. It was a great save by Van der Sar.
And he's just got it round the post.
Well, he hasn't a great deal to do, Edwin van der Sar, but my word, that was an important save. Everton have got a corner. Just 21 minutes left for play here at Old Trafford. You're listening to 5 Live at the BBC. Osman's corner short for Baines. Back to Osman. First time cross. Deep caught by Van der Sar.
Yeah, they didn't want that.
And Van der Sar throws it out to Rooney. Rooney does well, evading Coleman. Gets it on to Hernandez. Now it's Everton down the near side of the field. Everton need to get bodies back. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end. On to Rooney. Rooney trying to create room for the shot, running into trouble, loses the ball to Phil Neville, and Neville runs it clear for Everton.
They got back well, Everton, there. They were attacking and lost the ball, and saw David Moyes screaming at them all to get back, and they all rallied to the call as much as anything, and as Alan told you, Phil Neville did well.
Unfortunately, he didn't do so well there. No. He gave the ball away, Neville. And now it's Fabio running forward. Fabio to Rooney. Good first time pass by Rooney to the right side. And Valencia controls it off his chest. Now crosses right footed in towards Rooney. Headed away by Coleman. And Osman might get there. And ahead of Gibson. And the Irishman at fault. Gibson should have had that ball. Didn't get it. Cahill to Neville. Neville for Everton, who are 20 minutes away from what would be a really good result for them. And a poor result for Manchester United. But it's still 20 minutes. Now, on the far side of the field, it's Baines. Attacking much more in the second period than he did in the first. Back to Cahill. Cahill to Rodwell. The ball's going back towards the halfway line. Momentum gone for the moment for Everton. Neville to Baines. Back to Distan. Hernandez spotted an opportunity to intercept. Didn't quite get there. And Everton still have the ball. Rodwell in the centre circle. Coleman available, so too is Cahill. It goes to the Aussie. Back to Rodwell. And a good run forward by Osman. Osman's pass back to Coleman. And Ichibi says, give it to me. It's played in towards an Ichibi. Almost there. Ahead of Fabio. But neither of them make contact with the ball. And Van der Sar has it.
Yeah, good play by Coleman. Actually, Ichibi just timed his run a little bit too late. Just allowed time Fabio to get round the back.
Van der Sar in front of an increasing anxious Old Trafford crowd here. Finds Anderson onto Rooney near side of the field. Always looks the player in red most likely to Rooney. Rooney finds Evra, a second half substitute, to another second half substitute. Owen into Anderson in the penalty area. Anderson has his route to goal blocked, but he gets the cross in behind Owen, and it's cleared, vitally cleared by Jagielka. And you know, Everton are attacking as much as United are at the moment.
Well, it's good really from that point of view, because what it does, it stretches Manchester United as well at the back.
Baines on the far side of the field. Cahill with his arm aloft. Baines' cross was poor. Cahill knows it. Baines lucky to get a throw in. Level with the edge of the United penalty area.
He never leaves them alone, David Moyes, does he, on the side of the field there? He's screaming at them all the time. He's sending instructions.
Another intervention by the referee, who took that pass forward in his midriff. And I think that will hurt Peter.
He will do if Manchester United score off this.
Here's Gibson. Gibson to Fabio, 18 minutes to go. Every Chelsea and Arsenal fan willing Everton on here. Still think their hopes are slender, but this would give them an opportunity. Was that a foul by Rooney on Coleman? No, it wasn't. Referee was close by. Giggs, I wondered when Giggs would come on. Rather overdue. Here's Anderson. Anderson plays it to the left side to Evra. Evra now in toward the penalty, into the penalty, low cross in, cleared by Jagielka on the half volley. Almost reached the halfway line, the clearance. Evans back to Anderson. Anderson to Evra once more. Evra rolls the ball under the sole of his left foot, gives it the pass to Anderson. Back now to Gibson. The crowd hoping that he shoots. He doesn't. He passes instead to Fabio. Fabio's cross into the penalty area. Distan with a header clear. Everton have got everybody back bar in Ichibi. 17 minutes to go. Giggs awaits a hold up in play so that he can come on. Here's Evra. Evra with a cross into the penalty area, headed away by Distan. Here's Anderson again. Clearance not having gone that far. Finds Rooney. Rooney, player sort of diving at his feet. Rooney passes the ball to the right side and Fabio. Close to the corner flag. Fabio's cross in. A deflection and then a shot off the post. Was that Michael Owen?
I think it was Owen on the near post. It was a crowded penalty area. When the ball came over the right hand side, he got Owen, got his foot to it, and I thought he was in just for a second, but it's come back off the post.
Michael Owen, you know there's a goal in Michael Owen at some stage.
Well, that's what he's hoping for.
Giggs is coming on for Gibson. We'll get a quick update from Simon Mann in Cardiff.
Well, perfect timing because Queen's Park Rangers have just equalised, and it's Tarab who's got his second goal of the match, controlling the ball just inside the penalty area and placing his shot past Stephen Bywater. They hadn't really threatened in the second half, but they've got their equaliser. It's Cardiff 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2.
And it's Hereford 0, Shrewsbury 2. An Everton change following a Manchester United one. Giggs replaced Gibson, and now Gay has come on for, who came off? Coleman.
Yeah. Yes, well, Giggs now. Here he comes again. Can he do it again?
A little over a quarter of an hour to go here. 0-0 at Old Trafford, the Barclays Premier League. Here is Giggs. Giggs, the 37-year-old, crosses low into the penalty area. Hooked away in the volley by Jagielka. And then here's Neville. Neville used to play with Giggs. Youth team, reserve team, and of course first team, famously. What a career Phil Neville had at Old Trafford. What a career he's having too at Everton. Truly a Manc that's been adopted by Merseyside, which doesn't happen all that often.
No, he's done a great job, I think, since he's made that transition. I think he's done really well. He's played well today. He's a good leader of the pack for them. Him and the two central defenders. I think Jagielka and Distan have been outstanding today.
15 minutes to go. Manchester United 0, Everton 0. Fabio, the right back for United, to Rooney. Rooney now, centre of the Everton half. On to Anderson. Owen waits in the penalty area. The ball goes to Hernandez first of all. His attempt to cross, blocked by Jagielka, behind for a corner.
Yes, Everton have been pushed back again. It's the weight of pressure as much as anything else, and the arrival of Giggs won't help Everton's cause. It's going to be a corner. It's going to be Anderson taking it from the right side with his left foot.
At the Stretford end, here comes Anderson. Plays the corner short to Valencia. Back to Anderson. The angle's better. A deep cross, headed clear by Everton, and it was Rodwell who got his head to the ball and decided to play for a throw in near side of the field.
That's where they've done well, I think. They've got headers away, 6-yarders, done well, the defence.
Here's Rooney after the throw in. Rooney finding Giggs. Giggs, low pass into Michael Owen in the penalty. Owen's there. Owen tackled by Neville. Get the ball back to Anderson. His shot hits Valencia, and it's cleared temporarily by Everton. Then Fabio crosses into the penalty. Out comes Hard, and he gathers it well. And Hard throws it out well to Cahill. And each of them sprinting forward. Can Cahill's pass pick him out? No, he can't. Poor from the Aussie. And Anderson. Frustration there for David Moyes. He saw a glimmer of a chance.
Yes, there was really Cahill's been around long enough to have played that ball earlier than he did.
Owen, back to Rooney. Owen's gone closest of any United player today. A flick on, hitting the post, rebounding to safety for Everton now. Valencia on the far side of the field. Back to Anderson. Anderson pretty much centre of the Everton half. To Rooney, attack. That's what they're chancing United fans. Cross played in by Rooney, too high for Valencia, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Lovely exchange of passes, Manchester United. Anderson to Rooney. Lovely chip over Everton's back four, and it was Valencia running in and Baines running back with him. Just enough really of a challenge to put him off.
Hard getting a bit of stick from the fans at the Stretford end because they think he's wasting time.
Well, he's not really, is he?
No, but I mean, frankly, if you're going to get away with wasting the odd second, you'll do it if you're playing away to Manchester United. Ball is on the far side of the field, headed out of play by Baines. Throw into United just beyond the halfway line. Fabio to take it. 12.5 minutes to go here. The Barclays Premier League's mighty lunchtime clash.
Yeah, you'd think the weight of pressure would finally tell with the players Manchester United have, but so far Everton has stood well.
And so far the gamble he made in his team selection has not paid off. But that will change if United score. They've got a throw-in on the near side of the field after Giggs was tackled by Osman. It's taken by Evra, finding Anderson. Owen rushes forward. Hernandez fouled by Jagielka.
Yeah.
That's what Mr. Walton thinks.
Yeah, I think he'd every right to go for that ball.
Wow. This is within shooting range. But they haven't got Nani on the pitch. So
Giggs or Rooney.
He'll not be taking it. No, it'll be Rooney. Giggs is nowhere near the ball at the moment.
No, he's
not. Owen just went forward to have a quiet word with Wayne Rooney. Giggs is now moving near the ball as well.
That's right.
No, it'll still be Rooney.
You would think so.
Less than a dozen minutes left for play here at Old Trafford. Giggs or Rooney? Giggs is in a position to take the free kick. My money's on a Rooney shot. Here he comes. Right-footed, swirls in towards goal, tipped over by Hard, corner.
Yes, it was a good one. Good free kick. It was just dipping under the bar, but Howard was ready for it. Moved quickly to his right, tipped it over the top. He got two hands on it.
Corner tap short by Giggs to Evra. Evra faced by Neville. Passes back to Rooney. Rooney drills the shot in wide, couple of yards wide.
Yes, I think Everton were caught there. This business that's mentioned earlier in the first half about getting all the players back into your own penalty area. That's all well and good, provided if the ball comes out to the edge of the box.
Now Sir Alex with that so familiar gesture. Left arm extended, pointing at his watch.
Yeah.
And look, Sir Alex, the fourth official knows, so does the referee. Let them get on with it. They'll know if time's being wasted, they'll add it on.
Yeah.
A little over 10 minutes to go, plus added time.
That's right.
Cahill heads it down. Cahill's clearly not fit, is he? Ball now to the near side and Evra. Evra arguably should have started this game. Evra forward towards the edge of the Everton penalty. Crosses low, shot by Valencia, hits his own player. Back to Valencia again, chips it towards Hernandez. Header, tipped over the bar by Hard.
Yes, the first one was very good block. Valencia's strike was terrific, and that header then from Hernandez, I thought he was in. Good save by Howard. They're still here, Manchester United again.
Corner taken short to Giggs. Giggs crosses, hits Hibbert, and it's another corner. Inside the final 10 minutes.
Yes, I think you just get the opinion the weight of pressure will tell it. It must do, surely, with the way Manchester United are playing at the moment, the crowd behind them.
Giggs corner, left-footed. From the left, played in, header, goalwards by Evans, headed away. Here's Rooney, great initial control by Rooney. Rooney chips the ball to Valencia, overhits it. Valencia will do well to keep it in play. Does keep it in play. Plays it back. Fabio, right to the penalty area, crosses it in there. Rodwell heads it clear. And now Gay should have run that ball away, but didn't. Rooney that's a great ball by Rooney to the left side, hit 60 yards to Giggs. Giggs moving in from the touchline, flicks it on to where he thought Evra would be. He wasn't, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yes, it was asking too much of Evra, that. I didn't think that was it looked clever by Giggs, but I don't think it was a very good pass because Evra had run the long way. Anyway, the referee's now being pressured because he's going to he's going to book Hard for time wasting. And he's telling him. But he has been trying to, let's say, slow things down, Jimmy. And now he's getting jeered by the fans who used to support him. That's the way of football. It is. 9 minutes to go, plus... Well, let's start thinking now, speculating about how much added time, Jim. Minimum of 4, I say. Absolute cast-iron minimum of 4. Minimum of 4.
Yeah. Ball is back to Van der Sar. We have had the changes, remember?
Yes,
they're supposed to be 30
course,
seconds each.
Yeah.
And then there's, quote, the wasted time, minimum of 4. Here's Giggs from the left. Low ball into the penalty area. Good clearance by Jagielka. Excellent control from that clearance by Evra on his chest. Finding Giggs to Owen. Back to Evra. Into Rooney. Rooney's playing in midfield now. And he chipped it forward looking for Giggs. Another good clearance by Jagielka. Finding Neville. Neville's pass to Anichebe near side of the field. Little push over by Evans. That's a free kick. Yeah. There wasn't much in it, but it was a push.
Players go down to ground easily when they're challenged from behind now. Both teams have done it today. And this time Anichebe went down. There's no need for Evans to get as close as that. He wasn't going anywhere on the halfway line. So Everton got a free kick. Just give them a little bit of respite. They needed it.
I thought Jagielka wasn't at his best in the first half, but he's been
good.
Fantastic in the second
Very
period.
good. He's been very good today. Him and Distan have done well.
Owen heads the ball down, but it's away from the Mexican. And then Distan was sluggish to respond. And Moyes was furious at that. And Distan's clearance in the end wasn't good either. Now it's Valencia on the far side, running at Distan, edge of the penalty area, crosses deep looking for Hernandez, the header goes, and it's into the net, and the Mexican have scored a prompt league-winning goal for Manchester United. The pressure told, 7 minutes to go, it was a superb header, down and past hard. Manchester United 1, Everton 0.
Yeah, so it's a weight of pressure that's finally told on Everton here. It was a lovely cross by Valencia, right to the back post, and Mendes got it well and headed it into the net. But Everton will be furious because Distan, he should have cleared the ball. He had a wonderful chance, and he tried to let it drop to his left foot instead of getting it away with his right foot. And in the end, Everton were punished. You know, you can't do that against the good teams, and that's exactly what happened. It was a lovely cross, though, by Valencia. Lovely cross, and a good header, too, by Hernandez.
He didn't have much goal to aim at, Jimmy.
No, but
a really good header.
Well, he gets it well, of course. Now then, Everton have got a real problem now. How are they going to tackle this problem? But I think Manchester United have deserved that goal, to be frank. They've been squeezing Everton, you know, in the last sort of 20 minutes.
Hibbert plays it forward. Cahill takes it on his chest, edge of the United penalty area, but doesn't control it. It's back to Van der Sar. Much relief around Old Trafford for those in red. It was all about Distan. It was shocking defending by him.
I don't know why he let it go to his strong foot, of course, and then, of course, you know, you lose out, and you can't afford to do that in your own half as much as anything. But still, it still required a good cross and a good header, and Manchester United provided both.
Neville jumping with Owen, wins the ball, heads it back to Jagielka. Jagielka whips it upfield, headed on by Gay, but behind Anichebe, and is played back by Ferdinand to Van der Sar. I'm not exactly sure how well Rio Ferdinand is moving, Jimmy. Just look at the way he walks around the pitch.
Yeah. Well, he's had
rather
back
stilted,
trouble,
isn't
of
it?
course. He's had the back trouble.
5 minutes to go. Manchester United 1, Everton 0. Here's Rooney to Evra, near side of the field, over the halfway line now. Owen's inside, Giggs is ahead of him, goes to Giggs. Giggs running away from Osman, running at Hibbert. Evra's still in support. Giggs plays it in low. Hernandez deliberately let it run, and it's cleared by Baines. Baines now out of his penalty area and rushing forward toward the halfway line. Gay to his left, and he should be through the middle. Gay has the ball and plays it back to Neville in the centre circle. Everton haven't given up here. They're not lying down.
They never give up.
Neville to Osman. Osman to Anichebe. Anichebe back to Osman again into the penalty area. Tackled by Ferdinand. Ball breaks away. Anderson runs clear of Gay. He tried to pull him back and finally pulls him down. And that should be a yellow card. Because he tried to foul him at least 3 times.
Yeah, he got him third time. Got his arm round him. But what it's done, it's not what Everton wanted there, really. Anyway, it was there was just a moment there when I thought Everton just might have got a route through Osman and Neville, but just couldn't provide that final pass.
Rooney, if anything, is dropping deeper.
Yes, he's playing
just
playing just in front
to help
of
the midfield.
Yes, he is.
The ball is back with Van der Sar from that free kick, and Van der Sar finds Evans. Evans back to Van der Sar, and out to the Ulsterman again, on to Rooney. Back to Evans. Manchester United slowing things down here. That's good, sensible play. Van der Sar to Evans and Rooney. And Rooney now hits it to Owen, just on the halfway line. Michael Owen. Left side for United. To Giggs. Giggs with Hernandez through the middle. Finds the Mexican with a pass. Back to Giggs. Owen still scurrying forward, but ignored by Giggs. The pass goes back to Anderson instead. 3 minutes to go. On to Owen. Now Sir Alex won't want added time, of course. No, he won't want any. He'll be hiding that watch soon. Oh, he's actually looking at it now, but he's just willing the 90 minutes to finish. Ferdinand to Rooney. Excellent work by United. They're just keeping possession here, and
they're trying to draw Everton out a little bit, you see, as well. They can afford to do it now. They've got time on the side. They've got the goal on the side.
Back to Van der Sar. who hits it upfield. Jagielka with a careful header down to Neville. Neville, poor flick from Phil Neville. But Osman gets the ball back for Everton. To the errant Distan. Distan slashes it upfield. Ferdinand heads it away. Osman heads it down. Gay in the orange boots. Needs to be better than that to wear orange boots. Loses the ball. Here's Giggs over the halfway line to Evra. Giggs rushes forward. Evra goes with him. Now finds Osman with a pass just to the left of the penalty area. 2 minutes to go at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Everton 0. Hernandez 19th goal of the season. What a season he's had.
Yes.
Fabio on the far side. To Ferdinand, back to Fabio, and the pass back to Van der Sar. Out it goes to Evans. Evans just a couple of yards outside his penalty area.
I'll tell you one thing about the goal as well, and it's how high he got up to the ball, you know, when he had to head it in. And you said he didn't have a lot to aim at either.
Here, Rooney.
It's a good goal.
To Owen. Giggs back to Evra. And Rooney on the halfway line. Anderson rushes forward. It's ignored by Rooney. That's a good ball instead to Ferdinand. And they're just running down the clock now, Manchester United. Having got the lead through Hernandez. And again, I can't emphasise enough how little of the goal he had to head at from the angle.
It was a lovely cross by Valencia.
Anderson rushes forward, ran into Distan, but the ball squirts away back to those in red. Fabio to Rooney. Rooney's poor pass intercepted by Osman. Neville to Osman again on the halfway line. David Moyes wants them upfield. Everton obey. Not a good ball by Osman, but it might still be in play on the far side of the field. It is. Gay back to Baines. Baines midway inside the United half. Baines taking on Valencia, beats him. He was fouled by Valencia. Play continues. The advantage with Everton. Cross into the penalty area towards an Ichibi. Half clear. Gay picks it up again. Gay about 6 yards from the corner flag. Running away from Fabio. Checks. Still outside the penalty area. Gives it to Baines. They need to get a good cross in here. Baines attempts to cross. It's blocked by Michael Owen.
Yeah, this shows it's all hands to the pump now. That's Michael Owen in the right full-back position. Just checking Baines.
The 19 minutes is up. And we're still waiting for the fourth official to tell us how much time is being added on. Throw in to Everton on the far side of the field. Here comes the fourth official. Neville to take the throw-in.
You're going to win the money.
Throws it back to Baines. 5 minutes, Jim, I told you. That I wanted more than that if it was still 0-0. Now they don't want it. Here's Neville with a deep cross. Looking for Hibbert. Hibbert header goalwards, but not a threatening header. And then the ball fell on the volley to Jagielka, and he volleys high and behind.
Yes, at least this Everton got forward a little bit there. They had a few blue shirts, you know, in Manchester United's penalty area. You know, I was looking down the right-hand side, and there's not too much really gone at Van der Sar's goal today. He made one extremely good save from young Rodwell in the second half. But basically, Manchester United's defence have coped with what they had to do.
It took a long time to get the ball back from the crowd.
Is he wasting time?
Yes.
Ref?
Oh, he noticed. He did notice. And now Van der Sar is taking an age to take the goal kick. So they all do it when it suits them. Manchester United leading 1-0. We've already played a minute of the 5 minutes of added time. This would be such a massive win for them. The next league game, remember, Arsenal away next Sunday, and after that it's Chelsea here at Old Trafford. That looked like a foul on Evans, on Anichebe. Play continues. There was no foul according to Mr. Walton, the referee. Now it's with Hibbert. Hibbert crosses from the right into the penalty area. Header goalwards by Cahill, but it was a looping header, and it was an easy save for the Dutch goalkeeper.
Cahill's down, but he's up. Yeah. Yes, at least it was something better. But it was too far out, that header, really, to test Van der Sar.
Van der Sar in no hurry to clear the ball upfield. Now he does. Distant heads it back towards the centre circle, dropping towards Rodwell. Rodwell seemed to be fouling Michael Owen right in front of the referee. No free kick given. Hibbert chips it forward. Evra rather slices the clearance. Jagielka heads it away from Rooney. Evans heads it up in the air. And Ichibi thought he was being fouled. A terrible control by Anderson. And then as Jagielka came forward, he's tackled by Evra. It's a great tackle by the French fullback, and the ball's out of play for a throw into Manchester United.
I think he's played well, Jagielka. He's got a lot of energy in his game. He's trying to push it forward, Everton down the right-hand side.
Everest throwing onto the head of Hibbert, and Rooney surely fouling Cahill there. Anyway, the shirts are being tugged. Referee allowed play to continue. Ferdinand chips it forward and fighting the run from Valencia. Distant, he's so slow to get across. Valencia gets to the ball first. Valencia now running at Distant into the penalty area. Checks. Distant falls on his backside. Pass back by Valencia to Rooney. Rooney 35 yards out. No great hurry. Finally flicks the cross in towards Hernandez, and it's headed away by Everton. Gay, 2 minutes to go of added time. Ferdinand heads the ball back. Baines is waiting for it. Baines ran forward and ran into Fabio, and I think that the referee got it absolutely right. I thought that Baines had been fouled by Rooney previously.
Yes,
he had been, and the play was brought back for a free kick. That was good refereeing. Neville to take it. Jagielka's gone forward. Distance going forward. An opportunity perhaps for Everton to deny Manchester United the win. Neville plays it deep, and too deep for Anichebe is behind for a goal kick.
I couldn't see the point of that free kick there. He's played it sort of to the left of goal, 10 or 15 yards left. You would have thought really just hang that ball up really, in the danger area, in the central area, and see what happens.
I swear Sir Alex was talking to the fourth official about the time. No, Sir Alex, you've got 45 seconds minimum to go. And he's looking at his watch again. If it had been 0-0, he'd have been pleading for extra time. Van der Sar with the goal kick, hit straight out of play on the near side of the field. Throw into Everton. 30 seconds to go. A minimum 30 seconds. Hibbert, no time to waste. Took a while to take the throw in. Gets it back from Neville. Hits it upfield. Cahill's header seemed to come off Evans.
Oh no. The away linesman.
What's he saying?
He's given the throw into Manchester United.
Was it?
No.
No, it wasn't. So, and that was right in front of the assistant. Everett with a throw in. We've had the 5 minutes of added time now. Jagielka heads the ball down. Baines, rather delayed, was partly tackled by Valencia. Now here's Jagielka. Jagielka heads the ball to Baines. Baines flicks it forward, but that's a no-hope pass. Ferdinand slices the clearance. It's high, dropping just outside the centre circle. Two Everton players challenge for the ball. One of them wins it. Jagielka, third to final whistle. Vital win for Manchester United.
Yes, great result for Manchester United this. Then you catch us now, they'll be saying, goal when it came. Really, Everton were kicking themselves a little bit. It was a lovely cross from Valencia and a great header from Hernandez. Just right at the vital time. Prior to that, they had all the pressure, owing at the post. Everton, not too much, just one effort from Rodwell, well saved by Van der Sar, but this really is a big step for Manchester United today.
They've got 4 games to go, next to Arsenal and Chelsea, but they're 9 points clear at this moment in time. Manchester United 1, Everton 0.